Welcome to Angie Claud Yoga. Just wanted to give you a quick little lesson on one of my favorite postures, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now in our down dog, we use a lot of the body, but in particularly we use the shoulders and the hamstrings quite a bit. So if you are working on flexibility in those areas, this is a good posture to practice. And also maybe some things that you want to do to help you to be able to perform this posture. Always remember in our yoga, we're never trying to be perfect. That's not what this practice is about. It's about learning your body and becoming healthier and stronger. So hopefully in learning your downward dog, you will gain some more shoulder flexibility and strength, and hamstring as well. So one thing that I have been taught with the shoulders is in your down dog, we want to think more about scapula elevation. So we really want to extend through the outer portion of the shoulder. So one way to practice, something to practice before assuming your down dog, is to bring the arms out and turn the biceps skyward. And as you lift the arms towards the sky, when you get about shoulder height here, think about lifting through the outer portion of the arm. So instead of shrugging through the shoulder and bringing the inside portion of the shoulder up, I want you to think about bringing the outside, so that scapular elevation. So raising through the arms, biceps skyward, bring them up, and as you get about to the shoulder, think of lifting through the scapula, bringing the arms all the way up, and then turning the palms forward. So it's kind of natural as we lift through the arms to think of inward rotation and turning the palm of the hand also inward. But in our down dog, of course, we're doing the opposite. When we come into that down dog and we extend through the arm, and our palm obviously is down on the floor. So I want you to practice that here, just lifting through the arm, biceps up, come up, and as you get up about to the shoulders, again, think of lifting through the scapula, bring the arms all the way up, and then turn just the palm. So keep that lift and that internal, like you're trying to bring the outside of the arm in, rotating in, but as you rotate through the outside of the arm, rotate the palm forward. So that's a really good way to practice and to gain some strength and flexibility with the shoulder there. Also your hamstrings. So anytime you fold forward, as if when we come into Uttanasana, forward fold. So I'm folding forward just like a folding table, hinging from the hips here, allowing the upper body to lengthen over the lower body here, using the upper body weight to really stretch the lower body. And I feel that great stretch from the gluteus all the way down to the ankles, the hamstrings. So that's a great way, obviously, to stretch through the hamstrings. I can always also come down to the mat and lengthen through one leg, flexing through the foot, and then folding forward here. So this is a great way as well to stretch through the hamstrings. Flexing through the foot here, creating that dorsiflexion, is another thing that we're doing in our downward facing dog. So this is a great way to stretch through that hamstring and start to assume that flexion in the foot and lengthening in the leg, just as we do in our downward facing dog. So there's some things that you can work on as you're starting to work on your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we move down to the mat, and we first assume our child's pose. So we extend our arms out, very much like we do in our down dog, shoulder width apart, palms on the mat. Fingers are open nice and wide, so getting a great stretch of the hand as well. Thumbs are looking towards one another. And even here, I want to think about lengthening through the scapula. So really lengthening through the outer portion of the arm, lengthening through the back. And then as I lift my sit bones up, I curl my toes under, creating that flexion in the foot. Again, just as we do in our downward facing dog. So I'm starting to lift through the hips here, lifting them up skyward, pressing the heels down towards the mat. If the heels don't make the mat, no worries. Remember, the mat is just a place. You can always, though, walk the feet in just a tad if you want a deeper stretch to feel that up the leg, up the calf, and into the hamstring. So again, my hands are shoulder width apart, my feet are hip width apart, and I'm pressing the heels down, feeling that great stretch there in the back of the leg. Remember, we want to think about extending through the scapula, so I'm extending through the outer portion of the arm, lifting the biceps towards the ears, and I'm pressing the heels down. So that nice upside down V, downward facing dog. My core is tight, my head is relaxed, it's very neutral. I can say yes or no, it's just very much floating freely in between my biceps. I want to avoid, though, bending through the back, being so soft in the shoulders that I'm bending through the back. I want to keep the back long. Remember that elevation in the scapula. So we're trying to have a nice lengthening from the torso all the way down to the hand. Downward facing dog. You can come into, as we say, walking the dog, so you can bend one knee and then the other, really feeling a deeper stretch as you've taken weight off one leg and pressing and lengthening through the opposite. And this feels good, especially if you're not able yet to press your heels all the way to the mat. So, because when you bend one knee, you can usually press the opposite leg down. So that feels good. You can also bring both heels skyward, really bending through the toes, and then release the heels back down. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So you have a couple of ways you can come down. You can bend through your knees and settle back into your child's pose. Or lifting back into our down dog here. Or you can always walk the hands back to the feet, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Again, a great stretch of those hamstrings. Your slow reverse swan dive brings you up. And your hands marry at heart center. So I hope this helps you to understand a little better your downward facing dog. Always remember, don't ever do anything that causes any pain or strain. This is about learning your body. This is about getting stronger. Namaste.